Hola, buenos días. Bienvenidos a mi clase de español de hoy otra vez. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien. Episodio 3. Episode 3. Entonces, vamos a aprender. We're going to learn. So if you remember, I said entonces is like so. That's how you start what you want to say. Entonces, or you could say bueno. Similar sort of meaning. Vamos a, we are going to, vamos a aprender. And if you remember, I told you that aprender, try and think of an apprenticeship or apprentice, is the verb to learn. Vamos a aprender. We are going to learn. Okay. ¿Cómo aprender un idioma? ¿Cómo aprender un idioma? So, aprender, we already know, means to learn. And ¿cómo is the question in Spanish, how. So if I ask ¿cómo aprender, I'm asking how to learn. How to learn un idioma, a language. Okay, so a new word for you there. Un idioma is a language. So how to learn a language is what we're going to be looking at today. Now, sharp-eyed people might, unlikely, but you might have spotted there's something slightly odd about the word a language in Spanish, or this combination, un idioma. And what is odd about it? Well, if you cast your mind back to episodio uno, episode 1, when we were talking about gender, and we were looking at un abuelo and una abuela, and we talked about the end letters and all the rest of it, you might be able to spot that there is something a bit weird about the word idioma. And it's one of the small collection of words in Spanish that end with an A, idioma, but actually it's masculine. So instead of being una idioma, which is what you would expect for a language, it is un idioma. It's certainly not a big deal breaky type thing to remember, but if you can, that's great. Un idioma. Okay, what we're going to look at now is learning strategies using Quizlet and Memrise. These two free learning tools online are brilliant in my opinion, and everybody needs to be trying to get to grips with learning using them. Sometimes people say to me, I don't really like this, I prefer to just use a pen and paper and write things out. In the end, if that's what you want to do, do that, but I think that you are missing a trick by not using these two platforms. Now, at this stage, what I want to do is come out of this PowerPoint and take you to Memrise and Quizlet. And I'm going to start with Quizlet. Okay, so this typically is your Quizlet, is a Quizlet screen. Mine probably looks a little bit different because I've got classes down here, I've got folders that I've created. You really don't need to worry about all these things. But what will happen is that if, for example, you are in 9A this year as a class, so year 9, and let's click on year 9, you would see, and I've given you links to link you to your specific classes now in Quizlet and Memrise, you would automatically see RV 9A SP1 2019, and in here we can see all of the different sets of vocabulary that I've put in here for you. And the latest stuff is at the top here, and you probably recognize some of it. You've got this friends and family related vocabulary. So describing appearance, describing personality 1, personality 2, friends and family. So you just simply click on the set that you want to learn. Let's go for friends and family, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and you'll get the learning sort of screen come up for that set. If you scroll down a bit, you'll actually see all of the different terms that appear, and I've restricted these to 10 items per set. Okay, so it's things like mi padre, my dad, mi hermana menor, my younger sister, things like that. At this stage, I need to stress to you guys that watching the videos is one thing, and in fact being in class is one thing. Me, if you like, inputting information and explaining the language to you, and maybe practicing with little activities that we can do in class or on video. But that's probably, well, it's definitely not going to embed the language so that you remember instantly, you know, that my father is mi padre, or my older brother is mi hermano mayor, for example. So you need to be spending 10 minutes minimum, I would say, most days looking at Quizlet and or Memrise, because you can mix it up, in order to kind of embed the language so you don't forget it and you can produce that language quickly in Spanish. So what I don't want to go through Quizlet in a very comprehensive way, but just simply to point out a couple of things that I think are worth noting. One is flashcards are of limited use. It just involves you looking at a flashcard. That doesn't really help you remember it. So I would suggest going to Learn here, okay, when you want to start a new set of vocabulary. Click on it.
Mi abuelo.
And up it comes. Now, Quizlet and Memrise both allow you to hear the language as well as see it, and that is a big advantage which you don't have if you're just writing the words out in Spanish from the English. How are you going to know how to pronounce those words? So this is great.
Mi abuelo.
Mi abuelo. So straight away you can hear how you pronounce the word. In Quizlet, the audio, if you like, or the soundtrack is provided by a kind of robo voice. Very clever software which recognizes the word, the written word in Spanish, and then generates the voice to go with it, so it recognizes it and says it. Mi abuelo. Learn is great. You get various, well, I think two main activities. One is multi-choice stuff. So here we've got mi abuelo. You have to choose the right meaning in English from the bottom. So it's my grandmother. My grandfather.
Mi abuela.
Mi abuela, my grandmother.
Mi madre.
Mi madre, which is my mum.
Mi madrastro.
My stepmum. Sorry, my stepdad.
Mi madrastro.
My stepmom.
Okay, so, and then it will say you've reached sort of the first section. Press a key to continue.
Mi padrastro.
And we've got some multi-choice type questions. Mi padrastro is my stepdad.
Mi padre.
Mi padre, my dad. So it's familiarizing
amigos.
yourself with these words. My friends.
Mi madrastro.
My stepdad. My stepmom. Press the
Mi
key.
hermana menor.
So now it switches to you typing the answer in English. So you'll write down my older sister in this case. So there's a couple of activities. There's a typing the words in and there's a multi-choice. It's very good for learning new sets. The only other thing I want to quickly draw your attention to, which you get in most of the activities in Quizlet, is the options down at the bottom here. So do experiment with this, because particularly with whether you're going to be answering in English or in Spanish, and also checking that the audio is on or off. I mean, if you're doing this, you might as well hear the words, so I would suggest you have the audio on and some earphones or headphones on. Notice the change. So if we change this to answer with Spanish, this particular activity, okay, and we go to start over.
Mi hermano mayor. Mi padre.
Start. So actually that's not what I expected to happen. Let me just go back on that. Sorry, I'm getting rid of English and I'm answering with Spanish only now. So start over.
My best friend. My stepdad.
So now what you're hearing is the English being pronounced, and that's not as useful, is it? So better on this particular activity to have answer with English, Spanish turned off,
Mi hermano mayor.
and now you're getting the Spanish produced and you're hearing it. Okay, so if we just go back here and we look at some of the other activities, Learn is really good. The other one that I think is particularly kind of powerful as a learning tool is Spell. Why is it good? Because you are hearing the words, so your listening skills are improving and your ability to pronounce it correctly is improving. You've got the word written here in English, my grandfather. If you click on the little sound symbol,
Mi abuelo.
you can hear it
Mi abuelo.
as many times as you
Mi
like.
abuelo.
And then the idea is you type that in. Mi abuelo. Okay? Click return. It likes that.
Mi abuela.
Next, my grandmother. So this is a very good activity for testing your listening ability, your spelling, improving your pronunciation. I really rate that activity very highly. Again, if you go to back here, you're back with the different activities. You've got a test option where the program produces a little mini test so you can see how you're doing. When you know the language well and you think you've kind of mastered it, you've got match and gravity here, which people quite like because there's a competitive edge. Match comes up, is a timer thing in the corner, and the idea is that you challenge yourself to make all the words disappear as quickly as you can, and you do that by dragging matching pairs over one another. So for example, my friends up here means in Spanish is mis amigos, and it's down here. If I drag it over and cover it, it makes that disappear. You can drag Spanish to English or English to Spanish, it doesn't matter. Mi abuelo is my grandfather. Sorry, mi abuela, me not reading that properly, is my grandmother. Away we go. My grandfather is mi abuelo, and so on. So that's a sort of speed test, and you can see how quickly you can complete that. Again, if we go back, the last one I'm going to show you on here is gravity. Okay, so gravity, I'm rubbish at this because my typing is so slow. Immediately you get an option box come up with this one, so you can select the level of difficulty here. Start with easy, why not? Are you going to answer with English, Spanish, or make it random? It could be either. If you want to improve your Spanish spelling, then probably best to try at least to answer in Spanish. Let's go. Start the game. And as you can see, down come the asteroids. My friends is mis amigos. Gets rid of the asteroid. And I think you have to avoid being hit twice. Mi abuelo. And so on. So that's the sort of activity to be doing when you want to practice your words that really you've already pretty much got the hang of. That's Quizlet. So the phone app for Quizlet is really good as well. You can use it on the go, 10 minutes a day, or even better, if you can manage a couple of 10-minute sessions most days, I think you're going to fly with your Spanish. Now, if we look at Memrise, very different sort of layout. I like Memrise. I like the colourfulness of it all. Again, you're seeing here far more than you would see, because this is my master kind of screen. So I've got all my classes here. So 10C Spanish, 10D from 2018-19. So all my different classes and groups. So for you, once you've signed up to Quizlet and you've joined yourself using the link that I've sent you to the Memrise group that is your group, once you come into Memrise, just get into the habit of clicking on groups, and it will take you then to the group that you belong to. Okay, so for example, let's go to this year's one of this year's Year 9 groups. Here we are. So 9A, 2019-2020. Tells me there's 22 members in that class, and here are all the courses that I've put into that class over this year. You can see there's quite a few, and in fact there's so many that I'm having to load more here to see them all. Okay, and again load more, and you'll notice the latest is at the bottom, in this case self, family and friends, SFF, which is what we're all studying through the videos, the YouTube videos at the moment. I recommend that you click on the title of the course rather than on learn or anything else here, because, and you'll see it becomes underlined once you're on it. Click on it, and what's nice at this stage is that you can see the title up here. You can see that it is a GCSE course for identity and culture, which is the module that you'll be studying. And what I like about this is you see the levels very clearly. So each one of these levels has got 10 items only, so I've kept them short. It matches exactly with what's in Quizlet as well, so you've got different ways of practicing the vocabulary. If we click on the first level, level 1, here it is, describing appearance, up it comes, describing appearance, and you simply click on learn these words. Okay, now just as Quizlet gives you the pronunciation, just in case you haven't had enough or got sick of the sound of my voice because you're listening to these YouTube videos, I've also added the pronunciation or audio to all of these words myself, so that you'll spookily hear my voice pronouncing all of these as you go through this level. So just to show you what I mean by that, and also, by the way, you've got other little option boxes that will pop up here, and buttons for reviewing things. Speed review is another option that you've got. So if we click on learn these words, bajo, that's me saying bajo. So you'll hear the words in just the same way you do in Quizlet. Ni alto ni bajo. Ni alto ni bajo, neither tall nor short. Okay, I'm not sure that I would bother with these help me remember things, because they tend to lead you to pictorial meme things, images to help you remember, but I'm not sure how good they are, and you can, I think, get a bit bogged down with it, but it's kind of up to you whether you want to do that. So bajo is short, bajo, and you'll get a reminder of how you pronounce it. Now we
De altura media.
De altura media, average height. Neither tall nor short, ni alto ni bajo.
Ni alto ni bajo.
Okay, so I don't need to tell you too much about Memrise, because it's a kind of, it guides you through the learning process. Unlike Quizlet, you don't have different activities you select from. It just takes you through a variety of different things that you can do.
De altura media.
With slightly longer phrases as well in Quizlet, you get to rearrange the words in the right order to create the phrase. So it's very effective. Both Quizlet and Memrise are super effective learning tools for languages. So I really would urge you to use those on a regular basis. If you do, you are going to be great at Spanish. That's it for today. Hasta luego. See you next time, or hasta la próxima vez. Until the next time. Hasta luego.